Well, here we go. Here we go again. Technical problems, Linda. I can't get this to link to your website, but I think it's happening now
Oh,
because you know what it is. It's this the music that the countdown for 5 minutes. It just I think it sort of blows the bandwidth completely out of sync. But it's loaded now and it's just up on your website, so people can get it from your
yep.
Facebook page now. So.
Yeehaw.
Uh,
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so another week goes by. I tell you, yesterday we had our circle last night, healing circle. Boy, I've never felt the energy so high last night that even though I was asleep, in theory, I didn't sleep a wink last night. It was
Mm,
an incredibly high vibration that we got yesterday. And something, I don't know if it's connected at all because I'm still
mm.
linked to that vibration. But there we are. I'm downstairs here recording this, and Elizabeth is getting ready to go to work. She's got a phone in her bag, and then ding, a message comes through. But the
Mm.
ring was upstairs in the living room. And for well,
Wow.
that's strange because
Yeah.
have you brought someone's phone home? And but no, I went up there. I couldn't find the damn phone anywhere, and so I don't know. There's this high energy that I might have brought back with me. I'm not really sure, but I tell you,
Well,
it was.
yeah.
Sorry, it was. I'm as you can
No.
see, I'm still a little bit high at the moment through it all, but
Yeah, that's okay, Dale. I had my own interesting thing with the phone today.
yeah.
I had a phone call and it came up with the mobile number. It wasn't in my contacts list, so it comes up with the mobile. So I answered it and it was a robot. It was a spam, right? It was
Uh,
spam. Click one and yeah, we'll steal all your money type stuff.
yeah.
So I hung up and she's told me ring the number back. Now, I don't usually ring back spammers. I
Right.
just block the number. But
Right.
today I rang back and this lady answered and she said, "Hello, my name's Deborah." And I said, "Oh, Deborah, where are you from?" And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I've just had a call from your number and it was a company doing this." And she said, "I've had this trouble now for 2 years. Every time I change my number, they're selling it on and these companies are using my number."
Right.
And she said, "Thank you so much for letting me know." Well, it did get a little bit, conspiracy. And
Mm.
it's good to know that even though she's, oh God, a good 12 hours drive away from me,
Yeah.
she's on my tribe. And I thought, ha ha, you love playing your games with me, that,
Yeah.
and I even said to this unknown, I said, "Look, you're an unknown person to me, but I feel like you're a long lost friend." I said,
Interesting.
"You've got my number. You've got my number. If you ever do want to ring me, please communicate." She's on our page if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got
with
you.
certain things that some people don't want to have, you know? But we spoke for about 10 minutes and I just got off the phone thinking, what a synchronicity that was.
Yeah.
Where here I am for the past 2 days, my energy has been blocked because I'm getting inundated again with texts and phone calls and emails, absolute abuse from people because of a certain medical procedure that I don't personally agree with. So my energy's been, I've been sitting here doing the Wonder Woman at everybody these
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
and then I get this unknown woman today on the phone, and I just thought, you're just giving me that peace that there is that hope out there, that there are other people. I'm not the
Yeah.
weirdo, I'm not the only one here that thinks like this. And how funny was it? How often do we hear our own phone numbers getting hijacked? Our phone doesn't work if it's hijacked,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck was happening.
Yeah.
But geez, I'm glad I had that conversation with her this morning. Wow.
Well, just for the
Oh,
record,
good.
Linda, you are weird. Just want to clear that up, okay?
I know. I know. You
Otherwise,
don't have to tell me
we
anything,
we
Mike.
wouldn't be speaking today if you wasn't weird. That's all. So,
I've been talking to this guy now for about 3 years, right? We call each other on the phone. He lives a fair way away from me. He's in Australia, but not local. I'll put it that way, okay?
okay.
And we've been talking for about 3 years, and I said to him the other day, I said, "Oh, mate, I got told all this in 2001 when I died." And he said, "What?" He didn't even know about my experience, and he said, hang on, go back. And I said, "Oh, mate, go check me out on YouTube." He said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I will now." Like I talk to him like every couple of days, you know?
Yeah.
He's just a friend that I found somewhere, but yeah, we don't want to talk about who he is because he's way off the radar, okay? He's far down that rabbit hole,
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was just funny how I just said, "Oh, yeah, I knew all this was coming in 2001. And he went, "What? Hang on, stand back."
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny, eh?
Well,
What we go through. Oh, someone's sending us some love.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now, I'm just going to turn my screen up so Mike and I are sort of the same on the screen here. How's that? Is that a little bit better for us both?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too close. I'm too close. Oh, you calm down. Hang on, Mike. I'll just relax here. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'll relax. Oh, my God.
Well,
I think this is all Melinda. Thank you, Melinda.
Today,
Okay.
Linda, I've got a slightly different, well, it's the same sort of stuff, but I put these poltergeist and ghostly things together in one great big hit.
Yeah.
We got another time slip, glitch in the Matrix. We got the NDE of Gordon Allen, a lovely little end to that, I think. Tanya's Angel incident there. And we got the work of Sandra Ingham, and I'll tell you more about that when we get to it, because there is a really fascinating side to this, and who her guide is that she does the drawings to. And then, of course, we'll have time for grumpy old George on his take on religion.
I actually watch George Carlin on YouTube a lot.
I do too.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he really has this knack of telling the truth.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care about who he offends with it because it's the truth. So, yeah, I like that we've got George Carlin. If we've got time for him at the end, yeah.
Well,
all right.
I've done a couple of readings for this lady last year, and he always comes through to her. So I've had the pleasure of connecting with Grumpy George, as he doesn't mind me calling him Grumpy George.
Well, okay, well, I will go there, Mike. We're already up to about 20 comments.
Right.
And Kelly, Kelly, if I say it wrong, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll just blame my Australian accent, okay? It's Kelly Vitelli.
Not bad.
And she says, "Hi, cousin Mike Cavalli."
Yay,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep.
Yay.
She's
So good on you, Kelly. Thank you so much for watching.
She's over there in Connecticut. And maybe I will be allowed to travel at some point again. And we shall see.
Yeah, but this is the point, Mike. Do we really want to? Because they're looking for people to blame it all on.
Well, I mean, when this crap is all finished with, and it finishes when we say it finishes, by the way.
Yes.
So,
well, I've been saying that for 2 years.
Yeah. So, well, anyway.
Hey, it's all good.
Shall we get on with the show? Let's
get on to Katerina.
While we're stateside, let's get over to New York and see what Katerina has to say this week. Here we go.
Yep.
Hi, my friends. Thank you for tuning in and watching the news that makes you go, ah! brrr, or simply, what the, why? I can't believe no one else is talking about this. Well, my name is Caterina Antonina Campagna, and I'm here to talk to you about it. This is what we're going to look into this week. UFOs and all that they entail. We're going to start off with a story from the Puerto Rican rainforest from a woman named Rosario, who in the year 2000 says she had an encounter of the mysterious kind. She was off picking plantains when she was distracted by a low humming sound a few feet away. So she went to investigate, and to her amazement, what did she see? A triangle shaped unidentified flying object. It was black and had a shiny surface, and all of a sudden she felt she couldn't move, and she was enveloped by a pink beam of light, and she felt like her mind was floating on images for like an eternity. But it was really not that long of a time, obviously. And her mind floated to images of environmental collapse and nuclear war. Now, when she came out of this trance-like state, she said she saw a figure not unlike that on the book of Communion, the cover of Communion, and she felt compelled to read this book afterwards. Not only that, the next day, she went from being a animal eater, a meat eater, a carnivore, to a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian diet. Interestingly enough, a few days later, there was a report by two young girls in the same location of a chupacabra, a spiked, unknown type beast of mysterious origin. We can maybe look into that in the future. If you're curious about chupacabras and want to know more, let us know. We'll investigate for you, or at least open the discussion a bit more. But anyway, this chupacabra who was looking upon these two girls obviously had some sort of mission, because instead of eating them or attacking them, it ran off into the deep heart of the rainforest. From UFOs to men in black trying to hide whatever information we have gleaned from any alien encounters, so to speak. In the 1970s, in the autumn, one man, one doctor, Herbert Hopkins, was home alone when his phone rang, and a strange man invited himself over to speak about a case he was investigating, the Stevens alien abduction. Now, for some reason, unbeknownst to him, the doctor felt compelled to invite the man over and accept his invitation. Now, it was the 70s, so cell phones weren't around yet, and there were no payphones around the doctor's home. And suddenly, as if by magic, the visitor appeared at his doorstep. With a brim hat and suede gloves, he came into the residence and spoke to Dr. Hopkins. And he said that he really wanted these files, and he would know, the Steven files that he was investigating, he would know that they would be destroyed, or if he did something else with them, like go to the police. Of additional note is the fact that the stranger asked the doctor for a coin in his pocket, and the doctor produces such coin, and then the man says that this coin will disappear. And sure enough, the coin turned fuzzy in the doctor's hand, and poof, it vanished. The man said that that coin would never appear on this plane again. Upon speaking further, the men talked about another abductive case, but the man had already perished, one Bernie Hill. And the doctor said, yes, he heard that Mr. Hill had perished of a heart attack. And the strange visitor said, no, in fact, his heart had disappeared just like the coin. What are they hiding? Who knows? Do you know? And of further interest is the fact that when this man wiped his mouth, the mysterious stranger, on the back of his suede glove, there was red lipstick. And when the doctor looked at his face again, he saw that his lips were more like a slit, and that lipstick was used to manufacture the appearance of lips. And as the men speaked further, the speech of the strange visitor became more and more labored and spaced apart, almost as if robotic sounding as well, the doctor reported. And when the man disappeared, the doctor and his son looked for tracks, car tracks or anything, and none was found. That's all for this week, my fabulous friends. Remember, stay free, stay happy, stay encouraged, and above all, stay curious.
Well, I've only ever seen a cigar UFO. You know, the ones that have got no wing, no tail at the top. I've seen cigar UFOs, and I've seen cloud ships. And Melinda sent a little message, and we did a little exchange. I think you was in it there about one of these clouds, which either are cloud ships or somehow managed to hide the ship behind. But other than that, I haven't seen anything like that.
Well, the only one I've seen, Mike, now there was two other witnesses with me the night that we saw it. We were on a lookout down on the Gold Coast hinterland, and we were quite high. So we're looking, the view was kilometres and kilometres back to the coastline where all the buildings and everything were. And this thing came past us, and it was one of those ones.
Right.
But it was all black. The whole thing was black. There was no lights, no like appendages, like fins or rudders or anything. It was just like that, but it was all black inside it. Weird. We all saw it. The three of us saw it. Yeah. We were standing on the edge of the lookout, and we were following it as it was going down through the valley. Like a scout. It was. I think that was a scout vehicle. Yeah. It wasn't a drone because they're really loud and noisy, and it could not have been a plane because of how close it was to us. If I had to estimate how long it was, probably 100 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably 100 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I'd like to, we was talking about travel. I'd like to at some point go to, I think it's Joshua Tree out in the Nevada desert. There's the big meet once a year, isn't there? Where they all get together. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so, I'm still, I want to just touch lightly on what Katerina said about the Japachabra too.
Yep.
What a lovely little cutie pie animal that is. People think I'm weird, Mike, because I really like ugly things. I've always wanted a Sphinx cat. The hairless cat. And they've all got wrinkles on them and everything. I love them. They're gorgeous. And then the other animal I love is the eye from Madagascar. It's the most ugliest looking nocturnal little rat on the planet. Really? It's called an eye, and I love them. They're beautiful animals. But this what did she call it? The Japacabra. Oh my gosh, when can I get one? I want one. I talk to him. How are you? Would you like some more din-dins?
He might have you for din-dins, Linda. In the meantime, back at Joshua Tree. Take me when the UFO comes.
Yes, it would be good. Hey, here we are. We're both doing notes to each other tonight, Mike. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
All our little secret codes. Maybe that's what we've got to do. Our secret codes.
Well, I'll tell you, let's
move on
it just shows you. And have a look at this poltergeist sort of combination here.
Oh, yes.
Some really good ones here.
Interesting.
I mean,
That's
I
right.
must be getting quite sensitized to all of this because I watch them and I'm looking like this, and it just doesn't faze me whatsoever anymore. When we
Yeah.
first did this,
See?
I would sometimes go, "Whoa, what was that?" But now it's
Now you know now what I go through, Dale, because I've been doing this for years and years. You know, where people send me photos or clips or even like just audio, and they say, "Oh my god, this scared the hell out of me," and you think that was a cricket, you know. That's a cricket. Yeah. So yeah, we've just got to remember that, you know, people are learning, people are, you know, they get scared because it hasn't happened to them before.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean,
this is interesting.
I've done that stuff that you do, Linda, and I'm glad I've done it, and I'm glad I experienced it. It's not for me. I don't like my hair being pulled, and I don't like being pushed like this, and I don't like the dark.
Yeah, well, I
it's
always
not for
sleep
me.
with a light on myself. Yeah, I've always got a light on because I'm so used to waking up and seeing people standing next to my bed. So I like being able to see who's standing there.
Yeah.
So I've always slept with a light on. Yeah, the you know, my bedroom, not so much the bedroom light, but I like it like a hall light or a bathroom light on.
Yeah.
No ambient light coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I wake up and I can see if there's someone standing there or not.
Yeah.
Because it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good. All right, let's go and have a look at these.
Let's hope that these next couple of chaps that we're going to see are not standing at the end of your bed. Here we go. Let's have a look.
Here in my living room again, which is right by where that chair moved the other night, and I don't know. There's just been like scary going on around that. What was that? Oh. Oh no. What the?
Then Alex was convinced he saw the spirit of his deceased grandmother after this incident.
Okay, I am up here where all the different, like, scary activity has happened, and I'm hearing what sounds like somebody walk around on the floorboards. As I'm up here, I can feel, like, the pressure of steps landing around me. I don't really know what's going on. It just seems pretty crazy to me. I don't know. This is not what I signed up for when I got this house. Oh! I don't know. This is not what I signed up for when I got this house.
This next clip was taken from an officer's internal CCTV security system. It was uploaded by TikTok user Gilchan KC. They asked their viewers the question of whether it shows a real ghost caught on camera. Take a look and see if you agree. The first piece of strange movement is subtle, but a water bottle seems to topple over all on its own. Then more movement is captured by the camera. Watching that again, as the office worker is investigating the fallen monitor, his chair gets pushed into his leg. Now, there's one last eerie detail in this clip. See if you can spot it. A shadowy figure appears in the rear window. It glances into the room, then slinks away.
Well, that second clip, Linda, they deserve to be haunted. That office is too clean, too tidy. They've obviously very, very sick people to be so tidy. But
Well,
interesting. The X-Files done one of their episodes on Shadow Man or Shadow People. I'll have to try and find that and watch that again. But let's go. What do you think?
all right, let's start with the first guy.
Yep.
Now, I just want to explain to anyone watching, whenever Mike sends me footage like what we've just seen, it's not just me watching it once. I replay, slow it down, replay, slow it down, pause, rewind. It can take an hour just for that. What did we just see then? About a 3-minute clip.
Yeah.
The first one, I actually loved it. I loved it. You can see his emotion as he's walking around. You can see by him doing this with the camera, he's on edge.
Yeah.
He's not trying to hide anything in his house because his house wasn't really that tidy. Hello, I'm a girl. There was things out of place. So you can see that he's just not trying to make a video. Paused on the lady in the doorway.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. She's something. I'll go there.
Yeah.
It's something. I love it.
Yeah.
I've got more credibility believing the first one than I have on the second one.
Yeah.
The second one, I'll just go there. The first thing that I saw was him sitting in the middle of the screen.
Right.
And I thought, oh, well, how ironic is that?
Yeah.
Straight and center, right in the middle of the screen. Everything was perfect. Everything was in its place, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever lived in or worked in an office where everything is in order like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's always a folder out or this out or something doing. So when the thing fell over first, I thought, oh, yeah, strings. It could be a remote control. It could be one of those like bing and it falls over. Then the thing came out from the cupboard. I thought, yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But then when I saw the face, I knew it was fake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They did not need it. They didn't need to do that.
No.
Okay? They had me when the chair comes and pushes that guy in the butt.
Right.
Because that just shows a little bit of comedy. It shows a little bit of, humour with whoever's there.
Yeah.
If it was the same person, they wouldn't have just pushed the chair into him. Why peek out when you've already just done all this other stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't make sense.
No.
I think it was just an extra. If they'd just done the water bottle, the pillow, whatever it was, and then the chair hitting him, that was sufficient. That was sufficient.
Yeah.
Because then we would have been sitting here saying, I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw that shadow, I thought,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sitting on the fence with that one.
It's still good to see the shadow guys.
Yeah.
It's good that they're doing it. Because I've seen heaps of shadows, obviously. But
the Shadow Man's making a return.
let me just go there with my experiences on shadow people.
Yeah.
The shadow always appears first.
Yeah.
You don't get all this stuff happening.
Yeah.
And then the shadow guy comes in like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Type
with
thing.
You. Yeah.
It was back to front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it didn't make sense.
We can put this down to put this down to a little bit of tomfoolery.
Yeah, but that first one,
yeah,
obviously I wasn't there. I wasn't, it looks pretty real to me, that first one.
Yeah.
Especially when you pause right on that lady, because it's not a person standing there, because you can sort of see through it.
Yeah.
And it's
Let
not,
me just,
it's not a, you want to be able to pause right.
In my living room again, which is right by
you got photo, normal photo, black, black. And I went, what happened there?
Yeah.
So, you turn off the lights and you can sort of see something there. So I sent them to Rick, who runs Ghost Hunters of Australia. I said, oh, mate, please lighten these up and see what's there. And he said, oh, yeah, you got something good, So you do have to lighten them up occasionally.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they're photoshopped. It's just lightened, because that's what my photos have been. Yeah. So there is someone definitely standing there. And you can see the arms are up and then they're down.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a mannequin. It's not like just a still. It's not a still because the arms move. So I actually do like that first footage. I really do.
Yeah.
If it's fake, I'll be upset because, they're getting so good now with making things.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem. Yeah.
Okay. Goody good. Well, Timeslip. Glitch in the Matrix. And this little encounter is with the actress Sara Michelle Gellar, who you may recall was Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
And, it doesn't surprise me that I know these things happen to ordinary people. But, we've seen, for example, people who have starred in Poltergeist have had untimely deaths. The Exorcist have been continually sick. And we've also seen, like in this last episode there, that this guy, he may have the attachment. It might not be the house. So there's something about people that are prone to have this kind of experience. So
yes,
Sara Michelle Gellar is involved in, let's say, the darker movie scene. And so I'm not surprised there was a glitch in the Matrix concerning her. But let's have a look at it and see what you all think.
Yeah.
I was walking through the park where most people in my neighborhood walk their dogs. I usually know who is who and everybody is a familiar face. And there is this new lady there, and usually the group of people say hi to each other. And yes, we do socially distance, but they do say hi. Everybody spoke to her like she was a regular, and I was a bit confused as I'd never seen or met her before. When her and I spoke, she gave me this weird look after I told her that she looked just like the actress Sara Michelle Gellar. Everybody looked at me funny and asked who that was, and I said, oh, the actress from the 90s. And I listed off movies that she was in, and nobody knew those movies or seemed to even know who she was. I found that weird because I'm pretty sure that they did know and watch those movies. They weren't a really, really young group of people. They were more or less my age. Then I tried to Google Sara Michelle Gellar, and what's weird was that there was literally no trace of her. And it was the same for all of her movies and everything that she had starred in when she was younger. Later on, the Sara Michelle Gellar lookalike seemingly disappeared, and everybody that had met her and that was talking to her that day had zero memory of that Sara Michelle Gellar lookalike ever being in our area or in our neighborhood. And I guess it's not a coincidence that after that happened, the original Sara Michelle Gellar was back to being in our universe an hour later after doing some Google searches and even speaking to some people who claimed they didn't remember her. All of a sudden, they remembered her. I've been seeing...
There you are. A weird one, eh? A weird one.
That is a weird one. Did he go back or did they all... I don't know.
Yeah, it was a weird combination there. I think it was him that was having the experience.
I think he went back to like the 80s.
Yeah.
But then if he's doing a Google, how did his phone still work? If he went back to the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It wasn't very clear at all, this one. But, there are some extraordinary accounts. We had the one last week of Timeslip in France, and, how is it that they accepted the new French currency when they were clearly in a time where that currency didn't exist? And
That's
I think,
right.
we deducted that could have been some kind of divine intervention. Maybe there was something similar here in this circumstance, that a lesson that he had to learn. God knows how he stepped into that sort of time slip, which does bring
that's right.
another question. Are these portals, are there portals everywhere that some people
I've got to,
with their
yeah.
frequency matches?
You know, I can be driving down a road, Mike, and I get this. It's really weird. If you've ever been on a plane where the plane slows down and all your insides are still going forward, if you know that feeling of where you're moving forward, but then the plane slows down, but all your insides are still going forward. It's sort of like that feeling where I come out of myself a little bit. I can be driving down the road and I get it, that feeling. And then as soon as I get through it, it's gone again. There's a bridge here in Brisbane. Every time I drive across it, regardless of the time, regardless of the day or night, as soon as I get to this one point on the bridge, I get this, it's like my body is coming out of itself, and then I go back in. That's what portals feel like, okay? That's a really good explanation of, I've had other people that go through portal. You're walking through the portal, but you're not going through into another area. You're just walking through where it is. You know what I mean? So that's, that's the same sort of feeling I get because I've got a few portals in my house and, I haven't done a lot of aura cleansers of houses, etc. But I've been on a lot of ghost investigations over the years and I can turn up and they say, oh, is there portals in this house? And I say, yeah, you've got a big one over there because it's like this magnetic pull that comes out of me where your insides are coming out like on a plane when it slows down and your body's still going forward. So that's how I detect where portals are, and how strong they are. It's like a magnetic pull because you're getting pulled to it. But I firmly believe that they're everywhere. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that I know of in my house. There's one just out here on the road where I go driving every day. And I'll just get in the car and go, oh God, there it is again, so they are everywhere, Mike. The only reason why we don't register or acknowledge that they're there is because we're not paying attention to them. How many times do we walk down a street and we'll just have a little stutter and think, oh yeah, I just tripped. That could be you walking through a portal. So they are everywhere. I firmly believe they're everywhere. I've seen them a lot. I can walk into a house and I just see this big round opening like a tunnel thing, and you just think, "Whoa, that's a nasty one."
Well, I've had my own. I guess it wasn't so much of a time slip, certainly a glitch in the matrix, otherwise known as a Mandela effect, and I've had several of them, but the one that sticks out the most is I was in London and I was in the living room with my mother, and there used to be these adverts by Morgan Freeman. They had a Morgan Freeman sound-alike do a voiceover for an insurance company called More Than. And so they ran these, and then I read they've pulled this advert because Morgan Freeman died. I said to Mum, that's a shame. I said, remember those adverts? But she said, yeah. Okay, then a Morgan Freeman film comes out. I thought, well, okay, they probably made that film, And then another one comes out, and another one. And I'm thinking to myself now, is he alive or is he dead, this fella? But most certainly, I recall, and I will swear on it, that they pulled that because they said he died. And there he is turning up alive again. And I don't even want to look to see if he's dead again. God bless him, So
Well, mate, we only acknowledge it because we are aware of it. So as we go down the rabbit hole of spirituality or psychic or whatever you want to call it, that we all have, because it is innate. We all do have it, but as we start to become aware of our consciousness, there you go, because that's what it is. It's our consciousness. Things start playing up, and then you start having the, what the heck was that? Moments. And then you're having the, what the heck was that dream moment? Oh my God. So it is very interesting. Waking up to it all.
I think CERN has a lot of questions to answer about this as well. I also think that it's not strictly CERN that have created these glitches. I think, and I've been told that the dimensions are becoming more connected as one. So, out there, for good or bad, there's 100 Michaels in different universes doing all kinds of
That's
different...
right.
And sometimes
I don't think
they cross over. Yeah.
I don't think people want to hear it, Mike, but there's probably 100 Lindas out there too.
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
I mean,
I live by simple philosophies, guys. I'm, like little lines, right? And one of my lines is, if you can't make fun of yourself, you've got no sense of humour. I love making fun of myself. I always pick on myself and say, oh, Linda, you dill, look what you've done this time, ha, ha, ha. So I'd hate to have 100 Lindas out there, I tell you, mate. But I'd love to meet the other 99 Mikes. Okay. Are any in Australia?
Probably.
Can I travel to see you?
Well, I
Come on down.
I just blocked this morning on Facebook about 8 Mike Cavallis on Facebook.
Wow.
Some of them are legitimate. Some of them are just blank pages. But the only reason that I blocked them all is because I don't want anyone sharing stuff that they believe it's me.
That's exactly right, darling.
So
yes.
I'm just taking care of that. But this is all such a fascinating thing, and deja vu is a kind of that dimensions coming together. This for me is very common. Deja vu is very, very common, and it's very frustrating because, you say, for example, to my wife Elizabeth, I told you yesterday. She's going, you never said anything. No. You might have thought.
That's right.
No, I know I said it.
And we actually have the memory where we're talking and what we're wearing and where we're standing and how you even said the words. You say, no, I can clearly remember I told you. And they go, nah.
Yeah, you was in the kitchen and I was sitting here and no. So one of us shifted dimensions.
I had my friend Sue here one night, and she always brings over something of hers to look at or play with or whatever, or fix. I've got something here for her to fix because she's gluing stuff. She came over last weekend. So she brought this thing over and we're standing at my dining room table, and as she starts talking, I grabbed her hand, like I grabbed her arm, and I was like this. And she looks at me and she said, Linda, what? What's going on? And I said, darling, I just heard like a video, I'm watching a movie. I could see the next 10 minutes of our conversation where you were going to, after you talk about this, then you start talking about this. And she's like, how did you know I was going to tell you about that?
It's already happened.
I said, because I just saw it. I just saw it in this like vision of you started it, and then I'm in like this tunnel where I keep seeing it. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I do. It's happened a few times. One time I was gone for 45 minutes. I had my friend John here, and we were sitting out the back, and he said, oh, yeah, how easy is it for you to go into these tunnels? And I said, well, some of them just happen, but I said I am starting to get good at it. So he said, oh, well, do it now, do it now. So I just looked, and I thought I was only gone for about half a minute. And when I came back after seeing this vision, he said, you were gone for 45 minutes. I was nearly going to come over and wake you up, but you're not even, He said, you weren't even blinking for 45 minutes. You're just in like this trance state.
Yeah.
And he said, what did you see? And I said, well, it was pertinent to him, so I won't share.
Yeah.
But I said, oh, mate, I saw this, and I saw this. And he went, wow, how did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so we can go into like this alternate reality, because I'm trying to practice it, you know, but I can't control what I'm seeing, you know, but I can control myself going into like this tunnel where these visions or these deja vu events do come in, you know. Shouldn't be advertising that. Should be looking around for black bands outside my house now, shouldn't I?
Well, I tell you, if any of you do want to practice this alternate state, for me now, it's quite often when I get on a train or a bus, this is my target. This is my idea. Everyone's looking at their phones. I close my eyes and I go into this alternate state, and it really is easy on a train where it's just gently jogging. And the idea is to not be asleep because you're aware of what station is going on, what's the next station. But when you reach that in-between state, between sleep and awake, you start to hear spirit conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And the language on the underground is very often not choice, let me tell you. But it's now practice. And then when you get used to it, you can be in that altered state and remember to ask them a question, and sometimes they look at you like he hears us, you know. It's actually a really nice technique and a great way to pass the time when you're sitting on the underground for 40 minutes. So
only 40 minutes.
yeah well, Vienna's a small city. You can get to the northwest where we are, to the southeast where the airport is, in a car on a Sunday morning in about 30 minutes.
I'm in Queensland, just for people who don't know. I'm at the southern end of Queensland. My friends moved up to the north end of Queensland, and it's a 32-hour car drive if they don't stop. That's how big Queensland is in comparison, and that's only one state of Australia. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, just before we move on to Tanya's Angel, I just want to... something Melinda says, hence why I haven't slept.
Oh, we haven't done Gordon yet.
Oh yeah, Gordon's one. We'll do Tanya's after. But you know, Tanya, a lot of people are having difficulty sleeping at the moment. It's calming down now, but there has been so much noise in the universe, white noise, because of this going on in Central Europe now, and the fear that everyone's been. But now everyone's getting used to it and they're settling down. The universal noise is quietening down now, so you should be able to start sleeping pretty well now.
I'm going to do a video on YouTube. If you want to go to Dr. Linda Kramer, my name's on the screen. Dr. DrLyndaCramer. Find me on YouTube if you're having trouble sleeping, because I'm going to do a how to sleep well video. That is one that I'm going to do. Teach people how to go to sleep at night. Just simple techniques, you know, but unless you know it, you don't know. So I'm going to do but they're very simple, so it's not like you've got to write down heaps of information, you know. But I'm going to do like 5 or 7 different techniques of going to sleep at night and how to actually have a good night's sleep, because a lot of people, we carry our consciousness into our subconscious when we're asleep. So you got to disconnect from that. So that's one of the videos I do want to do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's move on as time is fast approaching. This is Gordon Allen's NDE, a very gentle story, but I think a real sort of wow factor ending for him. So let's see what you all think. Here we go.
Attention to it. I thought I was coming down with flu, and it wasn't the flu at all. I was actually much sicker than that. I was going into congestive heart failure. When they looked at me, they admitted me immediately to the hospital. I was at the hospital at 8:30 in the morning. By 9:30, I was being looked at by the doctors and examined, and they immediately admitted me to the hospital and put me in the critical care intensive unit for heart. And I have no memory, frankly. I know they put me in a wheelchair and took me up an elevator, but I can't remember anything after that. My consciousness became aware that I was in a space and in a place where I had some sort of movement that was going forward, and in that place it was a very pale peachy color, and it was a different thing I could not have imagined. And as I was moving, this peachy color turned more of a reddish and eventually a pink color. And with that was coming an absolutely awesome feeling of love and of being loved. It was like if you condensed the entire emotion of love and then took a swim in it. It was wonderful. Thinking about that love, I came to recognize that I knew that love from when I was with my mother in the womb. It was her love and my love together combined. That's how powerful that love emotion is. Holding on to that love emotion, it's moving forward into an apricot color around me. And as that apricot color is around me, there's more of a sense of total security, total belonging, totally being a part of something much greater than I was at any point in my life. And as it moved on, it came to another color, sort of a magenta kind of a color. And in that, the sense of purposefulness accompanied then the sense of belonging and accomplishment and love. And this purposefulness is just as powerful as the love emotion in the sense of being beautiful and wanted and needed and desired. And at that point, as I was moving on, it became a silvery kind of color around me, with all of these emotions still present and compounding. And as I moved into this silvery kind of an environment, that's when I was approached by three spiritual beings, all of whom knew me well. The beautiful thing about all the out-of-body experiences that I've had, in every case, any spiritual being that approached me, these were all purposeful. As they approached me, they all had a great, wonderful smile on their face. They were like your absolute best friend or best brother or sister. Their love was completely unconditional. And they all had a smile on their face just as if they were about to have a decent laugh or something. It's completely contrary to all of the portrayals of judgments and people looking down their nose at people and things like that. They looked just like people. The impression is that they were taller than I. Amazingly, they had like a togas on, like a modified toga, a modernized toga, if you want to call it that. They were delightfully happy to be with me, and they were having fun with me in that they were saying, okay, well, you've been on your mission. You've been out there to do your thing. Now you've learned everything that we wanted and needed you to learn in the real world, in the material world, and now it's time for you to take those lessons and apply them for our spiritual purposes and the real purpose that you're there for. And that seemed mysterious to me because of two things I didn't want. One was I didn't want to go back, and two, I couldn't see how I could engage and make that segue from high capitalist to running around doing spiritual work and poverty work. I was on a very fast train. I had lots of liabilities. I had my names on leases. I had my names on contracts. And I couldn't imagine how I could just stop. I really couldn't. I could imagine how I could stay dead because that was a very desirable thing at that point. As you can imagine, it would be desirable with all those wonderful emotions and feelings. And they explained to me that one of the reasons things weren't going well at this time, because it was time in the material world. It was time for me to make this segue. So there wasn't much happening to support what I was doing at that time. And the purpose of this transition to death actually was a wake-up call. And I protested that the wake-up call was not going to be anything that I was interested in because I just wanted to stay in that environment where I was. Interestingly, I was going through a change. They're talking to me as if I'm somebody else. I mean, they're talking about experiences that I'd had in the material world, but they're also reminding me and showing me views of myself as a spiritual being. In other words, that being that I was before I was born into my mother's womb. I totally accept that because when I came as a young child in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, there was so much that was totally foreign to me in this material world. I was very fortunate that I had a mother and father that truly loved me, but a lot of it didn't make sense. And then when it started making sense, the things that made it make sense were at a different level. So when they told me that I needed to be back to fulfill these things, and I suggested, well, I just couldn't imagine how I could do it because it'd be the equivalent of stepping off of a train going 100 miles an hour. I mean, I just can't imagine how that would have worked. And but they told me not to worry about it, that it'll all be taken care of, and that they're watching. not with my real agreement, but they moved me back into my body. And as I came into my body, shortly after that, one of my daughters showed up at the hospital because none of this was programmed, and people that had to have been called and brought in. And that, for that moment, brought that out-of-body experience to a close. All kinds of things happened continuously after that. Interesting thing happens. I'm a Christian, and it was, so I had a Christ-centered environment, and I believe that I'd had miracles in my life to that point, more social miracles than physical miracles in the raising of the children. But there was something even more remarkable when, in that first night I was laying in that bed, there was a feminine presence, spiritual feminine presence with me, and this physical female was speaking intuitively to me in a voice that intuitively I could hear, and it was gorgeous. And I came to understand that that was somehow a representation of Mother Mary.
Very active Mother Mary these days.
Well, I'll go there just because that was the last word that we just heard.
Yeah.
I had an email this week from a lady, and she said, I don't get it that people are actually hearing about, like Lourdes. She was actually talking about Lourdes over in France, where people go and have that healing, and the Mother Teresa or Mother Mary turns up.
Yeah.
So my reply to her was, which I still thoroughly believe in, may be wrong, so it's just my personal opinion, but we don't know what Mary actually looked like. Nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows what Jesus looked like.
No.
No one knows what Muhammad looked like. Even Buddha. We all have this big, overweight man with his big belly out, Buddha, but what did he actually look like?
Yeah.
So it's only our belief that makes it wanted to be that person, and in my email to her I said, some people see a child, a young girl, other people see 30-year-old women, other people, they go to Lourdes and they see an elderly woman, and they all say, oh, it's Mary. But unless it's Mary coming back in different ages, like physical age, a 3-year-old and appearing as a 30-year-old, we don't know, because it's very rare for these apparitions, because I'll call them apparitions here just to avoid any further debate. But when people have like near-death experiences, etc., and they see these people, they associate it to a deity or an ascended master that we know about, because they've never felt that emotion before.
Right.
People ask me how long I was in heaven for. Just in heaven, where I was in the field of flowers, and then I went down to the water, and I went to the city, and I was following a lady around. I was playing with the dogs, and then I was in the and I went a lot of places. Let's just go there. And I reckon it was about 1.5 years that I was there. But when I landed there, because of the love emotion, now he even mentioned the love emotion, we associate that instantly with the love of God. It doesn't mean that it is God,
right.
So unless he actually says, my name is Jesus, which doesn't, it has happened, right? It has happened where people wake up and they say, oh, my God, I just met this man and he said he was Jesus. That has happened. So I'm never going to deny that one. But in a lot of cases, people see these divine entities and they assume it to be someone who we know, because that's what they're trying to fathom the experience that they've just had.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ever say if it was Mother Mary or Mother Teresa or anybody. I'll never say yes, it wasn't them.
No.
Because it could have well been them, but I'd say it was just because he felt that love emotion, as he said. I love how he said the three spiritual beings, the three
Trinity.
beings. What is this? Some people say it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Look, there's my book with the three beings on the front. 1, 2, 3. So there's this commonality where we see three beings. Who are they? What do they do? Where do they go? How do they exist? These are the eternal questions. But we can't deny that they don't exist because they are in so many people's experiences. So I love that he said the three spiritual beings. And then he said it was a wake-up call. Now, this is a big doozy one for a lot of people, Mike, because a couple of people have asked me. When I was born, pre-birth, when I assigned myself to my life contract, right? This is going to go deep for a lot of people. Before my birth, when I was in heaven and I said, yep, I'm going to reincarnate and I'm going to be this Linda person,
right?
Did I already prearrange to have an NDE when I was 36 so it would put me back in line on my path, so I was now doing what I'm doing and now here talking to you tonight, okay?
Right, yeah.
I actually think the answer there is yes, okay? And I call them, this guy called it the wake-up call, but I actually say it's a realigning of what our true purpose is. Now,
That's
you know,
a good
you
way
look
of putting
at
it, yeah.
You know, I've looked at a lot of NDEs over the years, thousands of NDEs, trying to fathom what I went through myself. And there is something that we don't ever really talk about.
Right.
A lot of people who have had NDEs have all had very, very interesting lives up until the point when they died.
Right.
You don't see anyone in a very protected environment where they're sheltered and looked after, and then they have this event and they stay in that rut.
Right. Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say rut. Sorry, that's the wrong word. But they stay in that same mindset, okay?
Yeah.
It's almost like we have been primed before our birth where we're going to have failures in marriages, people attacking us and saying, oh, Linda, you're the black sheep of the family, that sort of stuff. Linda, you're the freak. I'm just putting myself into this situation, guys. It's not that it happened to me, okay? They're just examples. Oh, Linda, you know, no one's ever going to like you when you grow up. You're such a weirdo, that sort of stuff. We've all had it. All NDEs have it, which is very, very interesting when you delve into the life of the person before they died. You know, I had 2 marriages under my belt. And, you know, a loss of a child I've had, so I've had that, you know, mental breakdown, which I don't really like talking about, you know, other weird and wonderful stuff that has happened in my life. So did I predestine this before I was born? So I was already strong enough when I died to come back and say, you're not going to believe what I'm doing now. You already think I'm a weirdo? Wait until you read my book, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think it's true that, you know, are we pre-contracted to have NDEs? You know, you listen to this Gordon Allan guy, and I believe he did, because he's a totally different person now.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's got new friendships. He's making better bonds with people. He's out there spreading the word. That's how we got to have him on the show, because he's obviously made a video about it. So he's getting the word out.
Yeah.
And how, you know, you look at how many people now are coming out with their NDEs. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Why?
people are stepping out the shadows with this now, as it becomes more popular. And even in hospitals, you know, it's becoming more, all right, let's not say acceptable, but people are not anymore going to send you off to the nut house for saying you had an NDE, and it's becoming more acceptable. And this can only grow. It won't slow down. It'll get better and better, bigger and bigger, and it'll become a normal experience.
Well, the question that I want to pose, Mike, with all this weirdness happening for the last 4 years, because this did not start in 2020, people. This started, I reckon it started in 2015 myself. Very well planned and orchestrated event this was, if you believe that one or not, but I do. So, you know, with all this stuff going on, how do we know that how many times have we said on our show that we're doing the angels' work? Angels don't come down and fix cars. They appear as a person, or they make that person appear to do their work on their behalf.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will never be egotistical enough to say that I'm doing angels' work. I'm more humbled. I just love the communications that I have with whoever I have, this woman, and doing the words that come out of my mouth. And I think, what did I just say? Because that was pretty good. I should have written that down.
Yeah.
Because it's straight from her. I hear it and I just repeat it. But there's a lot and a lot more now coming out and saying, wow, I've had this experience. And I think it's because the world needs it.
Yeah.
We need to learn now that we don't have to rely on the three-dimensional world. Money, at the end of the day, doesn't mean a cent.
No.
Joke there, it doesn't mean a thing.
No.
What does matter is how much we love the love emotion that this guy, Gordon Allen, just spoke about, because that's ultimately all that does matter. How kind, generous, loving, supportive, compassionate, forgiving even that we are to others, because our emotion is what lives on. It's our emotion that makes our consciousness and our perception of what happens after death.
And that that was in the focus of our meditation last night. The whole thing, the peace, the love energy, the gratitude, and also sending love and light to these psychopaths, that their heart be opened up. It's, if you do it from the heart rather from the ego mind, it's a lot easier. Well, it's easy actually, but unfortunately it needs to be done. But the love energy, the love frequency is rising, and it's rising, and it's rising, and there is not a thing they can do to stop it.
They can't, Mike, because how many people now? So those overseas that aren't in Australia, our lovely Prime Minister announced yesterday that our mandates are getting pulled back. Unvaccinated people can now go into bars, pubs, hotels, restaurants, cafes, etc. We cannot go to hospitals unless we're the patient, and we can't go and see my dad in aged care. So it is a little bit personal for me. I can't go and see my dad still. It's been a year now. I haven't been able to see my dad because I'm not allowed to go to an aged care facility. But then in the same breath, our lovely Prime Minister comes out and says that this new variant's coming in and everyone's going to catch it. So to me, that's the double-edged sword of politics, where he has now just admitted they only want the people out there who are unjabbed because they want them to get it. So then their statistics start looking better. Because right now, if you listen to the EU, what does the EU stand for, Mike? European Union? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a lovely video from 4 of their heads the other day, and they want answers now.
Yeah.
They were calling it out, and I love that video. If anyone wants it, please PM me, send me a private message on Facebook at Linda Ray, R-A-E, and I'll send you the EU. They're hammering it. They want answers. They're very, very angry that what's going on. So, how many other people now are waking up? But the beauty of our mandates here is workers can't go back to work yet. Anyone who lost their job because they didn't want to have their clinically trialed medical procedure, because it's not even a vaccine, they've all come out now and said it's not a vaccine, thank goodness. They're all still out of work. They can go to the pub and have a beer, but they can't go to work yet. See the irony? It's not about health, Mike, at all. And I think I just said too much anyway, because we've still got a few things to go over here with.
Let's go over and hear Tanya's story and about Tanya's angel. Then we got the Sandra Ingham, the worker Sandra Ingham, and Grumpy George. I'd like to get Grumpy George in.
We'll do. I'd like to get Grumpy George on there because that's gorgeous, darling.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go look at Tanya.
Here's Tanya's story.
After my mother died in 2010, I decided that it was time that I reclaimed my personhood as a woman and as a spirit and as a soul, and I went dancing. and I went dancing in quite dark and dingy and turgid and sordid places. So what actually occurred, because I am a trauma survivor, so I'm hypervigilant and I need to protect my space, was I had what I used to half-jokingly call an infamous spot. So getting to the angel story now. So one night, it wasn't too busy this particular night, a woman came and she stood beside me, and she seemed to be an acquaintance of another woman who was a regular dancer there. And this lovely lady stood beside me this particular evening. I think it was a Friday night, if I recall correctly, and she looked at me and she went, "Wow." And I thought, what an odd thing to say to someone you've just barely been introduced to, you know. "No, you don't understand, you're not getting it." And I was like, "What?" She said, "I have never seen anything like this." And she said, "I'm psychic and I've seen a lot of things in my time." I said, "What do you mean you've never seen anything like it?" And I said, "What, me dancing like a maniac?" And she said, No. She said, "Behind you is the most enormous angel I have ever seen in my whole life." And she said, "And I have seen angels." And I said to her, I turned to her, I realised then, looking at her face, that she was quite genuinely, like, meaning it. And she looked right into my face as though she could see that that's what I was thinking, all my doubts and all my judgments and all my fears. She turns to me again and she said, "I want you to know this, Tanya." She said, "This angel," she said, "he's enormous, he's at least 9 feet tall." And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know how tall angels are." And she goes, "I'm telling you, he is enormous." And she said, "And his wings," she said, "they're the most luminous, enormous wings." And she said, "He's got them tucked back behind him, and he's showing me that he's tucking his wings back." She said, "But," she said, "he's just opened his wings to show me," and she said his wingspan is at least, 12 feet across. And she says, "Can't you feel it?" And the minute she said that, I went, "Oh, and then literally I was about to say something smart ass like, "Oh no, darling, But the minute she said that, I looked at her and she could see that I was thinking, what's going on here? I felt behind me. She said, "He's just opened his wings now." And so as soon as she said, "He's opening his wings to show me how massive they are," I actually felt behind me, really close to the back of my neck, this huge, I'm shaking telling the story because it was so intense. I felt this huge whoosh behind me, like there was no sound of a whoosh, like it wasn't an external, like heard from your outside hearing, like, I guess if that happened the whole pub would have freaked out. But it was, I could feel it within my body, this whoosh, and this blast of air went right down the back of my, the back of my nape of my neck, the cortex of your brain or whatever the back of your neck is, and it shot right through my spine. And that's when I realised this woman was not crazy, she was actually telling me the truth. So I said to her, I sort of was a bit shaken, and I looked at her and I said, she said, "Did you feel that?" And she says, "Can't you see him?" And I said to her, "No, I've never seen him." She says, "How long has he been with you?" And I said to her, "I can't tell you that either, I don't know." I said, "I've had quite a few very strange experiences that I know I was saved by someone or something, supranatural." I said, "Some people would call it God or an angel." But I said, because I've never seen it with my physical eyes or heard it with my physical ears, I've always kind of doubted myself. And she turned to me and she said to me, "Never doubt yourself again, Tanya." And she said, "And the angel wants me to tell you that from now on, now that you know that they are actually physically present in your life, but like when you feel really threatened or about to be, put into, life-threatening situation," which back in those days there were quite a few things going down which were unpleasant. She said, "I want you to call upon him." So a few weeks later, I'm there at the Irish Murphy's pub. The tension's brewing, and I'm trying not to focus on the three guys because I knew the security guards, I'd alerted them to the fact that they were going to be trouble. So I knew that was their job, not my problem. So I go back to dancing, to the rock music. Off I went, crazy as always. And suddenly I felt this presence behind me as if something had wrapped its wings around me. And I looked up, I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And I said, "I'm in danger now, aren't I?" I said, "I call upon you to protect me." And literally again, in my inner hearing, I heard the whoosh. And next thing I know, I look around and those three guys were being manhandled straight out the door, and it was actually within the 5 minutes exactly as I predicted.
So I think this is still up on my page, but it seems we've been taken down on your page, Linda.
I can still see it on my phone, Mike.
Right.
So I'm just going to go over on my computer.
Which is a bit of a shame. It seems to be something there on my page. It is
actually you're not.
I'm
I
not.
can't see it on your page. No. Oh, here we are. No, that's from the 30th of March. That's last week's show.
I've got one. Yeah, you see, it's just now showing Tanya's story.
See, I can see it on my screen, but that's because I don't know why. But we've lost all our viewers. There's no viewers now.
Okay. We'll keep rolling, and we'll get this up on YouTube so people can finish in watching it. But that was right. Tanya's story. But once again, this does lead us to actually, before we just say a little bit on Tanya's story, this does lead us to really consider now how we have to just move away from this platform.
That's right.
We've got to.
You'll probably get a little pop-up later saying which one it was, Mike. It may have been Gordon's story. Who was before Gordon? It was the Timeslip with Sara Michelle Gellar. Yeah. I doubt that one.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit crazy that we just can't, anything that you put out on public show, people should be able to just use it as long as they reference it, like referencing material.
Yeah.
As long as we say, hey, I found this clip from Ghost Hunters Australia, we should be able to use their footage because we're giving them back the credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like referencing.
Of course.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Free speech is gone.
Yeah.
It's awful. Wow.
Well, that was Tanya's story. It's very similar sort of thing to, do you remember the one we had where it was the young student and she was walking home and there was the rapist in the bushes and he got caught and she asked him, why didn't you attack me? And he said, with those two guys around you, those two big guys around you, no way. And she said, well, I was alone. So
I can see some similarities with what Tanya said. Okay. Now, to explain the situation for anyone watching, Tanya and I have met, okay? She has been to my house, but she did not tell me this story. This is the first time I've heard it when Mike sent me the file.
Yeah.
There's a couple of similarities here. The fact that this angel was 9 feet tall, when I heard that, I got the chills.
Right.
Because I've had 3 separate incidences now spanning, probably a year apart each. So it's 3 years.
Right.
or 2 years, so if you start 1 year, you go to the middle and then you go to another year. So it's three separate occasions where I've seen angels in my house, and so has other people seen angels in my house, and they're 9 feet tall. And the wingspan, when they put their wings out,
right,
I openly say, if you look at a feather, I wish I had a feather here, the quill, the bit that comes down and then you've got the feather, the quill was about 2 inches thick. And the feathers themselves, because one time when Archangel Michael came in, well, we assume it to be because he didn't identify himself and didn't name himself, but these feathers were about 4 foot long on my floor. So when he put his wings out, it was about 12 foot long, 12-foot wingspan. So Tanya doesn't know that story about me because I never told her my angel stories, and I've never heard her story.
Right.
So it makes me believe that this psychic who saw Tanya this night when she was out dancing, I firmly believe that this woman could see an angel behind Tanya. Okay? What was their intent? We don't know.
Yeah.
Was he protecting her? Was he guiding her?
Yeah.
Was he helping her through grief? Because there's so many angels that do different jobs.
Yeah.
So we don't know which angel it was.
Right.
But the fact that the psychic could see it and had the, to the point where she had to go and see Tanya and say, hey, by the way, I'm a stranger to you. You don't know me, but wow, you've got this situation happening.
Yeah.
I believe this story. I actually do believe it, only because of those similarities with what I have personally seen myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've just done a quick check on what's happened, and they say that here we are, I'll show you. This is their very words. That the following actions were applied to your video by Sony Music Entertainment because it may contain, nice number, 33 seconds of content they own. So it may and 33.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about at the moment. So
neither do I.
And there's just no way of complaining. So, and it's been taken down in 249 countries. So,
wow.
So another nice little number there. But anyway, let's not let that disturb us. Yeah. We'll carry on.
All right. Well, let's get on with Sandra Ingham.
Sandra Ingham.
And have a look at what. Yep.
Now here's the thing with Sandra Ingham. First of all, I saw her on Iconic Media. This is the media platform run by David Icke's kids, who do a brilliant job in their own right. It does cost £6 or £7 a month. They got loads of content there, but you can have a free month, and so you can watch this documentary where I got this work of Sandra Ingham. She's a psychic artist and a clairvoyant. And as you will see, she is one of the rare people that can draw with her left and right hand simultaneously. She talks about Leo, and Leo, her guide who does the drawing, is Leonardo da Vinci, as you would discover in the documentary. So we'll run this. Now I've got something else to show you about this after. So here we go.
Yep.
All right. You could understand how I'm saying bedside, so I know that we would have been called to her bedside, please. Can you understand this? I need to hear your voice, darling. Yes. Thank you. Could you understand that also? I'm not necessarily in hospital circumstances. Does that make sense?
Mine was hospital.
Hospital, right, I may be with you, but please still listen, okay. I feel it's rather homely with the things that are around me, please. Can you understand this? All right. And I feel that I'm wanting to go to someone that's really ever so close to you, love. This is not someone you would have worked helping. This is someone that you would have been either related to and all engrossed by. Can you understand this for me, please? All right. Yeah. She understands this, but I do feel that she would have been right beside you at the time that was happening. Okay. Oh, bless. I heard your words. Can you understand that, please?
Yes.
Can you understand the initial P for me, please?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, as I'm bringing the messages forward and everybody else is watching, please look at the eyes, please look at the colouring in the cheeks. If you do notice anything, please let me know, because I'm looking at you, not necessarily at the screens. If you do see anything, let us know, and then we can all look and see. All right. Just as I'm still working with you, please, could you understand the name of Frida for me?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. And then you would... Okay. This lady is wanting to give her love to 4 of you, please. Can you understand that? Can you understand that for me, please? The lady would have wanted to give her love to 4 people. All right.
Suspect 2.
I'll stop that there. Can I please just tell you that they really don't want to leave? And like I said, they're not leaving, because you've got that portrait now forever, which I'm sure you're going to treasure. Can I please just leave their love with you and say thank you very much? Let's give these ladies a round of applause.
There you are. An amazing artist, actually. And here's the funny thing with this. She was in the documentary. It shows she was in New York, and she was out eating with a friend. They arranged to go out to eat, and she deliberately didn't bring a pen and paper, because Leo, if she's got a pen and paper, he wants to start drawing anywhere. So she didn't carry one, but she said, "What?" And I presume that what's going to happen is that she was the channel for the drawing, but she had this dessert, and you'll see it coming up on your screen. He started drawing a face in the dessert,
Wow.
which you can see right there now. And
Let me have a little look at it.
so he was gonna get his way,
Wow.
Leonardo da Vinci, and there you can see
Wow.
a close up of it.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So, and she's a lovely soul, this lady. Really sort of humble, old school medium, you know?
Yeah.
And and the real deal. So.
Wow. I wish I could draw like that, Mike.
And that's the other thing. She said, funnily enough, she said, I can't draw. She said, if he wasn't doing it, I could not draw to save my life.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Well,
what else can we say? You know, we can't you a gift, can we?
No. She's
Oh my
the real
God.
deal. She is the real deal.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
you know, if you have been invited to do something with Iconic, for example, because of the precarious position they're in, they're not going to have someone who's fake just so that it can fuel that fire. So absolutely, she's the real deal, that lady. Excellent medium.
Oh, love it. You know, it's
let's
gorgeous.
wrap this up with Grumpy George.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Grumpy
with
George.
a lot of affection, Grumpy George. But this is George Carlin at his best. Let's run this. Here we go.
Because I got to tell you the truth, folks. I got to tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No contest. No contest. Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish, where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you. He loves you. He loves you, and he needs money. He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Don't you just love him? Don't you just love him?
Oh,
God bless him.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about watching him, because I've watched a lot of his videos over the years, and he's always just out there telling it as it is.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a true fanatical religious person sitting in that audience, they have to laugh at it because it's true.
Yeah.
You know, they can't get offended.
No.
You know, because it's the truth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a silly reason to get offended. You know, George Carlin is a great situation comedy. You know, he observational comedy. He obviously takes situations that are relevant most of the time and puts it in his act. And I've watched him a gazillion times and can never get fed up with him. He's brilliant.
No,
Sadly,
he just keeps coming out.
with us.
Yeah, but he's just got so much good content out there, Mike. You know, that's the good stuff about it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter where you go to, you just find something else that's good to watch from him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if there's a message before we close tonight, because, well, no one's watching us at this point, we're going to put this onto YouTube so we can share it over to everybody, because why do we do these shows? It's never about Mike and I.
Yeah.
It's to bring out awareness for us to all to learn and grow from, guys.
Yeah.
So please, like Tanya did tonight, if you do want us to be on our show, send Mike just a quick little clip, probably about 5-10 minutes long, so Mike can edit it up. Like with tonight with Tanya's, he puts in those little graphics, etc. You know, tell your story. So they're real stories that you want on our show. Yeah. Okay? We get the word out there, because the world desperately needs the love emotion at this point. Yeah. We've got to spread it out from every corner of the planet at this point with what's going on. We cannot lead into the darkness and the lowered vibrational energies that many, many want us to.
Yeah.
We've got to fight it. Love is the hardest emotion to stay in. You know, and it is true. Look how many divorces occur. Yeah. And other things that occur in marriages. Yeah. You're all good for a couple of months and then it all falls apart because it's so hard to stay in that love emotion. You know, it's so easy to stay in hate. It's so easy to stay in accusing and judgmental ways. So we must fight for this emotion. We must fight for the divinity and the strength that love ultimately brings to others. Yeah. So please share us around. It's on YouTube. So when you see this on YouTube, share it to your friends to get the word out that Mike does this show every week. I am more than honoured to be here every week with Mike. You know, we've been doing this for over a year now, and I still, you know, Mike's been in hospital once. I've had a couple of weeks where I wasn't feeling the best, but we always manage to get it done every week, you know.
Somehow,
so we don't do it for ourselves, you know. We don't do it for ourselves. It's the education. It's the learning curve that we're all on. We're all still learning this stuff. Yeah. So please stay tuned, guys. Please bear with us while we do have technical problems. We are trying to sort it out, and if you do know a platform that we can use, please contact Mike.
Absolutely.
Mike Medium, Mike Cavalli, or just Mike Cavalli on Facebook. Let us know where we can go where we don't get attacked or shut down every week. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
shows we're doing something good. Anyway.
Of course we are doing something good. It's all good, darling.
Linda, I'm going to have to go. Good people. We'll see you all next
love
week.
you, Mike.
Yeah.
Love yous all. Everyone from Brisbane, Australia. Love yous all. Take care. Have a lovely week.
Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.